Hello friends, welcome back to my studio. I hope you're well. I am deep in preparation to have the studio open during the Festival of Arts Open and Newstead Open Studios. And so I've been working through some works on paper, which are these here, some little mini landscapes. They're on A3 and they're very fun and quick to do. In fact, I've got a Skillshare class on a couple of these on a basic level of how I create these, so you can go and check that out on Skillshare. And I plan to do more of those in the future. And I'm also trying to finalize some work, which means this one, but I'm stuck on where to go with it. I am loving a lot of it again, and it's been sitting here now, you would have seen in the background, for some time, and I've stayed in love with those things. Mostly the sky area, the wispy cloud, and all of this pink and yellow and green along the bottom. But I can also see what's wrong with it. And I've really got this division here of this is a painting and this is a painting, and they're not quite in together. I know I need to do something, I haven't figured out what. So going forward, what I'm going to do is take a photo of this and print it out in little tiles, and then I'll play around with them in the sketchbook. And it means I can quickly make changes and I can see various versions of that, and that might help me move forward with it. I don't think I'll have this ready for open studios though, because I've just got so much on, but I will show you a vlog on how I try and develop this and move this forward. Other thing in prepping, I've got a couple of big canvases here that are ready to go, that I'm also was hoping to have some finished work on that for open studios. I'm always way more ambitious than what's physically achievable in the time. And you also need time to allow the painting to develop. I've got these two canvases. I've been so enjoying working on these A3 paper pieces. I'm loving working on the paper. You will have seen these before, and I think this one is my favourite. So often I want to hang on to pieces and not offer them up for sale, but this, it is currently on the website, but I might take it down. I just love it so much. Anyway, because I love working on paper, I would have been thinking about how to make the canvas feel more like paper. Because of the weave of the canvas, when you're painting, you do have this texture, canvas texture, where the canvas texture showing, and I don't like it. And it also, I find you have to have so many layers of paint on before that is dulled down. And I'm wanting to do this softer, more glaze techniques, and I'm finding I'm not able to achieve that because I need to put so many layers on and such thick paint on to disguise the texture of the canvas. Now, one of the things I know I've been doing is I haven't been putting enough gesso on because I want to just get stuck in and get painting. So in these two canvases, I've decided to do much more prep than I normally do. So they've both had 3 layers of gesso on, and then that mix that you saw me mention that Sandy Hester has begun using on her paper work is the matte medium, the antique white, and some water. And I've put that on, and you might be able to see the difference in colour. So this is the white gesso, and then that's the antique white. It's actually a very nice colour to have as a beginning surface. I'm enjoying that, and I can still feel a bit of texture there. So what I'm going to do is give these a light sand and see if that will also knock back some and make it smoother to paint on. And you may remember me mentioning this book. The book's by Kate Reeve Edwards, and she's the daughter of Gareth Edwards, the artist. And this book I've been reading and then abandoned because you know how easy I get sidetracked. Beautiful, beautiful artwork when we're talking about the Turner atmospheric stuff. And in this book, it's actually a very hands-on how to, step by step, how he achieves these lovely works. And they begin with a lot of washes, and that's another reason why I'm trying to kill off the canvas texture so I can have these lovely washes sit on the surface. First things first is to give this a sand and see how I feel about the texture, and then hopefully I'll get some paint on this canvas today. gosh, how good are these two? Now I have another dilemma of not wanting to touch them at all. I'm trying to let them dry and not dab too much. Already there's two landscapes sitting here. The paper's buckled a little bit, but I think that can be stretched back down for frame when it's being framed, if indeed it turns into anything at all. But wow, that's just offering up so much information for the next layers. Absolutely fantastic. And of course this last one, getting braver, trying to change what I'm doing and just being in the play, and then you get something that's just so lovely with just a simple wash and dabbing with a rag. This is this big one, and again there's some lovely, hopefully the camera's picking it up, some lovely scratches there where I've sanded, I imagine. And yeah, some really lovely marks already on this one. So the idea is to just continue with these washes once it's dry. It's still a little bit wet there in the center where it's darker. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. I can already see, sorry about the shaky handheld, that this is kind of, to me, this could be all sky. This is the very bright light on the horizon with a suggestion of land here. So it's already speaking as to what this could quite likely become. Fabulous. This is the second smaller canvas. There's not a lot going on. I think the paint is just too thin on there. It's looking much better on camera than it is in real life. This is looking a lot darker. Whoops, and it's still wet. So this will need quite a few more layers on before that, and it's got this where it's pulled, so not so great. But that's okay. That's also the nature of how these things go. Some things work immediately and inspire, and you can envision where to go, and then this is just like, oh no. And you know, this might turn out to be one of the most amazing paintings ever, but it's still a very, very beginning point. So I'm having a lot of fun. I hope that inspires you to get going in your studio with your practice. Perhaps you'll throw some washes around and see what surprises appear in front of you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.